coming up with the latest onto the Newcastle Rugby League finals. Plus, we'll have a look at the latest onto the Knights men and women. Plus, that's up next here on NBN's local sports news. As they go through to the finals of the Newcastle Rugby League. Comes in the back of Saker play on Saker does the gully, goes to the line himself in the pass. The captain coach scores one. And Cessnock should be safe now. 28-22. And the Knights men and women back at home to face their enemies this weekend. But first though, Souths and Cessnock kick off the Newcastle Rugby League final series on Saturday afternoon with the qualifying semi. The Lions will have the home ground advantage, but no, the Goannas won't back down.
The final five shoulder to shoulder with the silverware in their sights. Just like last year, Souths and Cessnock will meet in week one, but this time around, Merriweather's Townsend Oval is the venue.
I think it's huge, especially when you factor in we could have been going up to Cessnock to play them, so I know they get a good crowd and I know we do too.
It'll be pretty hostile. They always pack it out at Townsend there, so yeah, look, we're up for the challenge. It's at the end of the day, it's still a game of footy, you know what I mean? So we're just happy that our goal at the start of the year was to come top three. We've achieved that. So yeah, now it's on to the main goal of winning the whole thing.
Lions captain Ryan Glanville has played the Goannas enough times to know what to expect on Saturday afternoon.
I think their game plan will become physical and come to rough us up, and that's what we expect from Cessnock. They're a quality outfit all across the park, so we need to be ready for 80 minutes, and I'm sure they will be.
Harry O'Brien smiled for the cameras at the league's finals launch, but the fullback won't feature in the series after suffering a season-ending knee injury. Former Knight Braden Musgrove has since made the number one jersey his own.
Since Braden Musgrove's moved back to that fullback position, he's been huge statistically and just the little things that he's been doing on and off the ball. So, we definitely don't lose anything with having him there.
O'Brien says his teammates know the key to success.
We haven't completed over 80% more than 2 times this year, so we just need to focus on our own backyard and get the little things right.
Kick-off is at 2 p.m.
And of course, South Newcastle are up against Cessnock at Townsend Oval in Merriweather. Right up on Saturday at about 2 p.m, while it's a battle of the Central Coast clubs, Wyong and the entrants in the minor semi-final on Sunday at 2 p.m. at St John's Oval. It's been revealed Bradman Best wanted to play this weekend against the Bulldogs, but his coach put him on ice to get over a niggling groin injury. Adam O'Brien says he needs his star centre to be fully fit for the Knights' run to the finals.
The coach had to deliver the news earlier this week. Best didn't want to hear.
Not talking to me at the moment, so he's just a little bit tired. I think the smartest thing to do is to let it settle down. If we do the right thing, we use common sense with it, it'll settle as quickly as it came on.
The Safidi twins, Jacob and Daniel, are also both under injury clouds, but they've been named in the night squad for Sunday afternoon's clash with the Bulldogs.
I reckon they're going to be right up until at least Saturday before I'll know. So I won't be, I'm not purposely keeping it from me. We don't know yet. We just want to see. They're both improving every single day.
Newcastle's 5-game winning streak began against the Dogs, a club record 66-0 victory.
We're under no illusion that our previous game is really relevant to this one. We need to, that game's gone now. We need to go and recreate it this week.
The club's NRLW side will also feature on Sunday before the men at McDonald Jones Stadium taking on the Titans. The Premiers bounced back against the Eels last weekend. Coach Ron Griffiths revealing an extra training session led by Hannah Southwell and Tamika Upton may have been the difference.
Hopefully I'm redundant, mate, by the end of the year. I'd like to think that by the end of the year, they drive the standards and, we instill the rugby league in them and, we coach to the values. But by the end of the year, we want the players driving all of that. That's what we're aiming for.
A few pundits are backing the Jets to go all the way in this year's Australia's Cup, but the side plans to change that next week in Maitland. Newcastle's players looking to boost their pre-season at the place where they spend most of it.
There's only 4 more sleeps until fans get a second look at Rob Stanton's Jets.
Some principles always stay no matter what the coach is, but this coach has a different playing style, and I enjoy it very much. So the fans will see different stuff, but they'll see sort of the same.
After several years training at Maitland, the side will finally play a big game in the city when it hosts the Raw in the Australia Cup's round of 32 on Monday night.
The pitch is looking amazing. It's like carpet, so to get a game out here finally would be great.
Newcastle's defensive line learned a big lesson in last month's qualifier.
I think everyone was under the age of 21 or 22, something like that. So for us to concede late gives us definitely a wake-up call that we need to stay focused for the full 97 minutes or whatever it may be, rather than just coast home for a 2-0 win when it's not that easy against quality opposition.
Mark Natter says the side has plenty of reasons to win.
It makes pre-season a little bit less long if we're playing more competitive games rather than just training until the start of the season. But obviously we want to win every game, and our target's definitely to win the Cup.
Exactly. And of course, the finals of the Hunter Rugby Union competition take place this Saturday, with Maitland up against Merewether in the major semi. While it's a minor semi-final between the Wanderers and the University of Newcastle students, also the season could be over in Sunday's minor semi between the Wanderers and the students. If the students win, the Two Blues season could be over. And also, both games are played at Newcastle's number 2 sports ground. Coming up after the break, we'll have a look at the Group 21 teams that are going through to the finals.
Take advantage of outstanding Audi opportunities during the 2-week demonstrator clearance at Audi Centre Newcastle. Secure your preferred model with the reassurance of Audi's 5-year warranty. There's never been a better time to bring your new Audi home. Audi Centre Newcastle's demonstrator clearance is on now in Hannell Street, Maryville.
It all starts this weekend, the Newcastle Rugby League Final Series. Of course, Cessnock versus South Newcastle is up first, followed by the Entrance Tigers and the Waranroos on Saturday and Sunday. Then who will play Maitland into the upcoming semi-final next week. We'll find out. We'll find out this weekend. Well, welcome back. Round 15 became enough for Greta Brankston as they became the last team to become as they became the third team to go through to the finals at Group 21 Rugby League after a 20-8 victory over their rival Singleton. And of course, Greta Brankston were just too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. Also, because of that, it was just huge for Greta Brankston right throughout the game, which is just magnificent. Because of that, Muswellbrook defeated Denman 26-10. Scone defeated Aberdeen 48-10, while Greta Brankston defeated Scone, which is the match that you just saw, defeated Singleton on Sunday. But of course, the Group 21 finals began on Sunday, with Scone up against Muswellbrook, while Greta Brankston is up against old foes Denman, which occurs the following week. It was a huge one in round 16 of the AFL Hunter Central Coast, and of course, Warners Bay secured a win over the entrants. Terrigal Avoca busted Killarney Vale. Cardiff defeated Newcastle City. While round 16 of the women's competition, Killarney Vale defeated Terrigal Avoca, and of course, Newcastle City was just too strong. And of course, Muswellbrook had a huge win over Gosford. And of course, the entrants Butter Bay and of course, Port Stephens secured a win, while Maitland had the bye. In the Hunters Black Diamond Shield, and of course, the entrants Butter Bay secured a win over Maitland. Meanwhile, Lake Macquarie thrashed the Gosford Tigers with a 61-42 win, while Newcastle City annihilated Muswellbrook with a 67-55 win.
Over the corner, big three to Edwards.
The Maitland Mustangs have all but named an unchanged lineup as part of their incredible revenge-style full win over the Canberra Gunners in the preliminary final. It was massive for Maitland, with the Mustangs securing a huge victory. They'll take on the Sutherland Sharks in the grand final of the NBL 1 East this Saturday.
And we'll go to the line to add an extra 88-75. The Maitland Mustangs have done it, secured their spot in the 2023 Coles Express NBL 1 East Grand Final.
And of course, finally tonight, if you want a game of local rugby league, here it is. And of course, Central Newcastle. And of course, the Cessnock Goannas, of course, up against the Central Newcastle Butcher Boys. And of course, it occurred on Sunday up at St John's Oval. And of course, because of that, the Cessnock Goannas, the Cessnock Goannas got through to the finals of the Newcastle Rugby League competition, which will occur this Saturday. Of course, that's where we're going to leave it.
Well, 6 points to margin doesn't really